Ankit, can you present the screen? Great. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the day three of our Flutter series. And first of all, what we'll be doing today is we'll be covering the basics of GitHub, like how you can create repositories, what the functions of GitHub are, like exactly what GitHub is all about. So let's just dive right into it. Our today's facilitator for GitHub is Ankit Mahajan. He is also your senior. He is in third year. And over to you, Ankit.
So I hope my audio and video is clear.
Yes, Ankit.
So let's just start. So hello everyone, I welcome you all to this session. So we'll be looking at the basics of GitHub. So before deep dive into the subject, let me give a quick intro of myself. My name is Ankit Mahajan and I'm a technical content writer intern at Geek for Geeks. And I've also been a Linux success head at Linux World Informatics Private Limited. So now let's first look at a use case. The use case we'll consider today is about the world's largest sports retailing company, Decathlon. It has 1600 stores in 52 countries, which has nearly, say, about 1 lakh employees. And the IT team of GitHub consists of 1000 members, which help Decathlon to bring their journey of shoppers to their devices. So now let's see at what problems they faced and how then we shall see how did they sort out the problems. So in the beginning, Decathlon was working in a data center using a VPN, and using VPN was a huge challenge in terms of workflow visibility and redundancies. So the first problem is how to maintain workflow visibility and avoid redundancies. Since there are many stores located at different locations, the hiring of developers seemed to be a difficult task as a physical workspace was always needed. So the second problem is how would they hire developers? So now let's see how they solve these two problems one after the other. So in the first case, GitHub is an open source community. So what did Decathlon do is the entire Decathlon shifted from any other remote repository to GitHub. Since GitHub was an open source community, the code became more visible across the organization and anybody could contribute to now. Then in the second case for hiring the developers, GitHub is an open source community and it had been in collaboration with any developers all over the world so that any potential developer could contribute to benefit the global community. So now the question arises, what made this contribution possible? So the major role was played by the version control system. This was just a single case amongst other. There are many organizations that have benefited from GitHub. So now we have realized how GitHub has revolutionized the market. Let's start learning more and more about GitHub. So as we move forward, let's have a look at what is version control system. So version control system are the software tools that helps in recording changes made to the file by tracking modifications done to the code. So there is single repository and each user has its working copy and all the changes are committed into the repository. So two most important things to make changes visible are you commit and they update. Okay, so now we have discussed that version control system can track different versions of a file and hence a specific version of a file can be called whenever needed. So this makes the collaboration between the developers easy and provides the members of the team to work on the latest version of the file. So now we know what is version control system. It's time to jump on the topic what is GitHub. So GitHub is a service hosted on web and all the projects can be stored there. Also it provides you a graphical user interface where all the files can be stored and any team member can just collaborate on the project from anywhere. Also, it provides several access control and collaborative features like wikis and task management tools for every project. So let's jump onto the hands-on part. So now just open up this GitHub. So just type in github.com and click on this plus icon and select new repository. Type a short and memorable name for your repository. For example, I am writing repo 5. Adding description is optional, but if you want to add it, you can write my first repository on GitHub.
Hi Ankit, sorry to interrupt. Can you explain what a repository is? Like, can you explain the whole thing because many of the audience here are beginners.
I will be explaining all this after this, like in the hands-on part only.
Okay, great.
Okay, so you can write my first repository on GitHub. Okay, then comes the type of repository. Okay, so now here we can see public repository. So in public repository, what happens is, for example, if I open up my any random repository, if I copy the URL of it and click on this, so now if I paste the URL of this repository, you can see that repository is visible to this user also. So this is entirely a different account, and you can see public is also written here. So that means that repository is a public one. So now let's see what is a private repository. Okay, so private repositories are those repositories whose visibility is controlled by the owner of the repository. So to explain that, we can take an example of, so in my drive, say this is a folder, say roadmap. Okay. So now if I click on this Excel file sheet and click on view details, so you can see that this Excel file is not being shared with anyone. So till now the control of this repository has the has with owner also, है ना? So the issue is to make this Excel file visible, I need to give access to other people. So same is the case with this private repository. So if the owner of repository wants that particular group of users can see it, then only this repository will be visible. Okay. So now you can select on this add a readme file and click on this button create repository and click on this refresh button. So basically, repository is like your folder which has a list of files present in it. So now you can see a README file is being created. So README file is like a file which describes your project in more detail, and also the contents of this file are displayed on the front page of your repository. So now if you want to add some files into your repository, you can click onto this and we'll open a drop down menu for it. So just click on the create new file button and type the name of the file. If you want to edit something into the file, for example, I am writing some random stuff here. So if you want to edit the file, you have to click on this edit new file tab. And if you want to see those changes, you can click on this preview tab. So now just click on to this. So now you can see a new file has been created into this repository. Okay. So till now we have successfully created a repository, initialized it with the readme file and created a new file. So now let's jump on to the CLI part. So now you can see that I am into my E drive. You can work into any of your drives, say CD. So we'll be creating a folder. For creating a folder, you will be using this command mkdir for making a directory, and let's just name a directory. And for getting into the directory, you have to type the command cd and then the name of your folder. So clear is used to clear the screen, and if you type ls, so you can see there is no file present. So ls is for listing all the files. Okay. So let's just learn what is cloning of repository. So for cloning a repository, you need to use this command git clone and paste the URL of your repository. So what basically this command is doing is it will download all the content present in your repository. So you can see a readme file and a file by the name of a.txt is here. So now if you use this command and press enter, and now if you type ls, you can see a folder is being created into my Windows folder file. So now if you want to get into this directory, type cd and the name of your repository. So now if you want to see files, type the ls command. So it will help you in listing the files. So now you can see all the two files which are getting reflected on this GitHub repository are present in your Windows folder, folder 5. So now we'll see how to add files using Git. So for example, if you want to create a new file, say I am creating, and let's just write something into that. So for writing, you have to press I button. So what will I do is it helps you to insert the text into the file. So for example, I am writing I GitHub users. For saving the file, press escape button and then shift and then call and then write WQ. So it will save your file. So now if you want to see all your files, you can type in the ls command. And now you want to see what is the content into this k.txt. So type the command k.txt. So what does this cat k.txt is doing? It is printing all the content present into this file. So let's just clear up the screen. So now let's see how to add this file. So for adding the files into your repository of GitHub, you need to use this command git add. So for example, I am adding this file. So I will be typing git add k.txt, or you can type git add this. Basically, this command add all the files present in your repository, but we have already this file. So we'll be typing git add k.txt. Now you see this file has been added. So now we'll see how to make commits. So for committing, type the command git commit -m. -m is for a message. So here you have to type a short and meaningful message which describes the changes made to this file. For example, I am writing predicted changes to a.txt and then mention the name of the file. So now if I open up my browser and click on this refresh button, so you are seeing that no k.txt has been created here. So if you want to reflect those changes into this GitHub repository, you need to use git push command. So what is git push command doing here is it will push all your changes present into this Git repository onto your uh, GitHub repository. So now if I refresh my browser, I am able to see that a k.txt file has been created. So now if you click on this, you are able to see the content present in it. So now let's understand what is basically a commit. So commit is like a snapshot of all your files which is present into this repository at a particular point in time. So why it is particular point in time? So you can see that this file has been created 1 minute ago, and this is 5 minutes ago, 16 minutes ago. You can see that here the GitHub has written initial commit and create.txt. So these are the by default commits which GitHub provides us, and this is the commit which we have just committed our file. So till now we know how to clone our repository, how to add files in that, how to make commits and how to do push. So let's just understand how to create branches. So for creating the branches, click onto this. So this opens up a branch selector menu. So if you want to create branches using this UI, type in the name of your branch and click onto this. So if you click on this, and now if you click on this numbered branches, so it will show you the octo branch here. So we'll learn how to create branches using CLI. So let's just clear up the screen. So till now I am on my main branch. So if you want to create a new branch, so you have to type git checkout hyphen b and the name of the new branch. Okay. So now you have seen that I have been shifted into a new branch, developer branch. So basically branches are like a contained area of your repository which allows you to develop some features, fix bug and work in a isolated development area. So now you want to switch back to the main branch, type in git switch main. So now you can see you are back to the main branch. So now you want to see all the branches present into this repository. So type the command git branch. And you can see I am back to the main branch, and this asterisk is denoting that the user is presently working on this branch. Okay. So till now we have covered what are branches, how to create branches, how to switch branches. So let's just see how to create forks. So for that you can see that this is my different account. So you can take this user as B user and this user as A user. Okay. So now if I want to just fork this project, so open up this project and just click on this fork button. So it will take some seconds. So basically a fork is like a single copy of your repository which allows you to make changes to this project without affecting this original repository. So for example, now if you want to add some new files, so you can click on this and click on this. For example, testing.txt, and let me add some stuff. Now click on this. So now you can see a new file has been created by the name of testing.txt. But now if I open up this A user's account and click on this refresh button, that new file is not being shown here by the name of testing.txt. So now if you want that this testing.txt should be reflected into this A user's account, for that you need to create the pull request. So just click on this. So basically what are pull requests? So you can see that pull request helps you collaborate on the code with other people. So if you want to make some contribution on the project of one person, you need to create a pull request. So it is just for making collaboration with others on a particular project. So for that we create pull request. For creating a pull request, click on this button and then just click on this. So now here you can add in comment, like you can add please accept my pull request, or you can type please accept my PR and then just click on this. So now it is checking whether it is any merge conflicts, or now just click on this. So now if I refresh my browser, you can see this A user has received a notification on the pull request tab. So let's just open this. So now if you open up this commits tab and click on this, so you can see that this B user has created some file and it had the content hi hello users. So now if this A users think that like I wanted these changes to be into my project, he can click on this merge pull request and click on confirm merge. And now if I go into this code tab, you can see this file is being reflected here. Now if I click on this, you can see all the content which was contributed by that B user is being seen here. So now if you click on this refresh button, you can see everything is here. Okay, so and here also you can see that request is merged. So now let's just understand what is git pull command. So why this git pull command is required? Because if say this B user had made some changes into this A user's project, so to avoid the overwriting of files, we use this git pull command. Else, if we will not use this git pull command, it can happen that overwriting of file occurs. So to avoid that overwriting, we use this git pull command. So now if you type ls, you can see the testing.txt is being reflected here. So till now we have covered how to make PRs and how to use git pull command and how to merge requests. Let's click on this. So this is like a visualizer which will help you understand how to do git branching and how to just do git merge. So I'm making some random commits into this main branch. You can see it is creating a tree like structure and the user is currently on this main branch. So we have learned how to create a new branch. So the command for that is git checkout -b and the name of the branch. Now you can see the user in on this developer branch. So let us just commit into this branch. You can see some commits are being made into this developer branch. So now we know how to switch branches. We'll type the command git checkout main. Now you can see the user order in this main command. So let us just create some commits into this main command. So now if you want all these changes which are present in developer branch, like you want all these commits to get merged into this main branch. So to merge those changes, we'll type the command git merge and the name of the branch. Git merge developer. So now you can see all the commits that are being made into this developer branch are getting merged into this main branch. So that was all from my side. And now if you have any questions, you can ask that.
Great, Ankit. Thank you. That was a very thorough explanation, and I'm sure a lot of people understood the things very well. So, if you all have any questions, just type them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next part of the session. Type in your questions real quick. Ankit, kindly share your LinkedIn so that if they have any doubt, they can connect with you.
Sure.
Great.